Now that we have all the data in our spreadsheet, we're going to format the data. First thing I'd like to do is I'm going to add 5 rows above. So you highlight over here 5 rows and then come over to the cells group and say insert sheet rows, and that gives us space above, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with that a little bit later. Before we get started, we want to add one more thing to the table, and that is the average of the columns. So in A13, we're going to type average. The other thing we would like to do with that is we're going to right align that up here, right align it. And then we select the range. And then we come up here to the editing group. We don't select AutoSum, but the arrow there, and click on average. And you'll notice that it will average. You'll see that it averages the each of the cells. Now, if you also see here that the averages also have several decimal places. So we're going to take care of that by decreasing the decimal. Oops. Decreasing the decimals. So there are no decimal places. So now we're ready to format the table. So we're going to leave AACC's information out of there. Just going to, we're going to take this data right here, come up to the styles group and click on format as a table. Now in this one you can choose whichever one you'd like, and so I'm just going to choose this one. Now you can see here that it automatically says the formatting as a table. It's where's the data for your table. Notice the range that it is A6 to N13. So that's right. A6 is the beginning, and over in the other corner it's N13. So I'm going to say OK. Now you're going to notice now that it made everything single spaced, and we're going to correct that in a minute. The other thing that it does is that it puts in this table, it puts these little arrows for the column. Now what you can do, this is simply filters in the data. So you can sort the column, you can arrange them by color if you had color. You can have things that are equal to a particular number or whatever. So this allows you to filter in separate columns. We're going to take that filter out. Now I'm just going to tell you it's a toggle, so you can turn it on and turn it off. Okay. Now this is because the data spreads too far over. We're going to format the titles and narrow the columns. Now most likely your college column is going to be bigger because the names of your colleges are bigger. So I'm going to move that over. You'll have to make this column the best fit. You can double click that that boundary between A and the B columns. So we're going to select B through N, and we're going to go to the Format tab, and we are going to click on the column width, and then we're going to put a number there. We're going to start with 8. We might have to do some alterations of some of the fields. Let's take off the data filters. Okay, so what we're going to do is make sure that we have this right align. I think it's going to keep right align since we had that right align before. So again, we have this over under budget area that maybe we can move that over just a tad. Maybe move it there. Oops, nope. Okay, and it looks like everything else is pretty good. And let's just move this up a little bit since we have a little bit more space there. Okay, so there is our table. The last thing we want to do is to highlight the average row. And we're going to go over here to the cell styles, and we're going to choose total. So that makes that row stand out. You're going to do the same thing with the information table, and you will go ahead and take the filter off, and you're just, instead of what I would suggest you do is just go ahead and select all of the columns, and this time I'm going to choose, I think I'm going to start with a column width of 10. Okay, and then you can just you can, like, oops, this one, undo that one. This one is, if we come here and double click, it will, you can make these, this will make it have the best fit. And again, your A is probably going to be a little bit bigger because of the size of your college. And you can, this one with the undergraduates, you might have to pull over a little bit. And it looks like that looks good. And another thing that I'd like to do is to center everything in this so it looks better. So go ahead and click on center for everything. So we want to have a bottom aligned for the, so that brings everything down to the bottom, so it's aligned at the bottom, and then horizontally we want to make it center. Now let's do a little bit of alignment for some of our columns. Now for the titles, we can go ahead and make sure that all of them are center aligned. I had to click that twice to make sure that I got all of them center aligned. We want to keep the numbers that have odd number of digits right aligned. For the ones like these that have the same number of digits, and maybe for the date, we could make them also centered, so that looks a little bit better. The last thing we'll do is make an average row, and we will right align that, and we will do averages for up to student ratio. Since it's text, you can't do an average. So we'll go ahead and click the down arrow, click on average, and we can do 0 decimal. This will have to be, since it's percent, we'll give it 77. Now we're going to have to format that in percent. And then we'll do the same average for the rest of these. And we'll go to average, and then we're going to hit enter. And we need to make that, oops, wrong direction, make that 0 decimal places. And then let's do what we did the last time, and we'll make that, change that cell style as total. And then that's good for formatting for our table.